Hey guys, Chris and Alex here from LostLevel.com. We're coming to you asking for sponsorships.
Yeah.
If you guys are interested in promoting our show or having your stuff promoted on our show, we would love to hear from you. We like beer and money. Alex, Adam, and I love beer.
Beer's great.
And we love consuming that beer during our podcast. So
that gets expensive at times.
we would love to sponsor whatever you're doing. So if you're a fan of the Lost Level and never thought about promoting some of your stuff on lostlevel.com, we would be more than happy to talk to you. So contact us, Chris at lostlevel.com.
Yeah, or Alex at lostlevel.com as well.
Let us know if you're interested. We would love to talk about your stuff. We will promote the shit out of it.
Especially if it buys us beer.
Yes, beer is good.
Very good.
And beer fuels this show. We're not asking for expensive stuff, obviously. We just want little things. So, if you're interested, we would love it. LostLevel.com. Thanks a lot. Enjoy the show.
You've unlocked a Roundtable.
Welcome to the Lost Levels Roundtable discussion of It Follows. Why are we doing this show?
Because it is a popular horror movie that has been getting a lot of buzzes of late.
Okay, so this came out last year, but we're doing it now.
Right. It was like a Sundance golden child almost.
Okay, so this movie just came out on Blu-ray, DVD, digital release last week. We bought it, we watched it, and because of the positive buzz this has gotten, we decided that we're going to record a roundtable discussion of it. Much like we recorded a roundtable discussion of I Spy, something that, or Spy?
Spy.
Is it just Spy? Okay, so we recorded a roundtable of Spy, and people probably question, like, why the hell are they, of all movies, why are they doing that movie? It's because
it's a popular one.
People gave it a 95 on Rotten Tomatoes, and we needed to talk about that.
We had a morbid curiosity.
So that's why we did it. Any popular movies that get crazy buzz, word of mouth, something that's stupidly high on Rotten Tomatoes that we don't understand.
I'm looking at you, Jurassic World.
We need to see that. We need to talk about it and vent our thoughts, frustrations, whatever it is.
Or our praise, even.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, Tomorrowland. Guys, go see Tomorrowland. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, if you haven't seen Tomorrowland, go see it. Anyways, this is the roundtable discussion of It Follows. And what that means is it's a spoiler-filled discussion.
And there's going to be quite a bit of spoilers because there's some things about this movie that I want to discuss because I'm not really sure what was happening.
Yes, we are going to talk about the stuff that confused us. Hopefully I can help Alex out. Hopefully he can help me out with some questions that we both had.
Hopefully you can help us out because we dum-dums sometimes.
Yes, but It Follows, very popular, and this is spoiler-filled. This is your warning. So do not listen to this cast if you don't want to know anything about It Follows. And I actually encourage you to watch It Follows before you learn anything about it. Because if you learn about it and then watch it, it might lose some of its luster.
Yes. Thankfully, I did not know much about going into this. I just know people were liking it.
And me bugging you to watch it.
Yes.
Nonstop.
Exactly.
To an annoying level.
Yes.
So, if you've not watched It Follows, go watch It Follows, come back, listen to the roundtable discussion so you could get in on all the cool information that we might have for it.
Okay.
All right, starting now. It Follows, a horror movie, an independent horror movie, a small, low-budget movie where it's not your typical big release type of thing. It has its unique premise to it.
Yeah, okay, are we going on the premise right now?
Yeah, let's start off.
It's basically The Ring meets STDs. The Ring meets sex. Because if you remember The Ring, the whole idea was you watch a video and the only way to not be killed by what this video does is to make someone else watch the video.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
See, I remember you had to watch a video and then what was it, 7 days you died?
In 7 days you had to make a copy and make someone else watch it.
See, I didn't remember that aspect to it.
Yes, so that's why this reminded me a lot of The Ring.
Okay.
In that regards. But the idea of this is someone who has this demon, this entity following them that's going to kill them unless they have sex with someone else, and they pass that on to them.
So yeah, it's a sexually transmitted demon.
Essentially.
so to speak.
And if the person that this demon is hunting gets killed, it goes back down the line and tries to kill the people that had it previously that passed it on to the person.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of a fucked up strain.
Yeah, it's a unique strain, something different that when I started watching this movie, and you open up with this group of friends. One of the friends is the attractive one who goes on a date with one of some random dude. They have a typical date.
Yeah, this has been a few dates they've been on. They've established that she's not. Yeah.
So a typical high school teenager date. You don't expect too much out of it. You're watching it like, okay, I'm getting it. They get to the lovemaking scene, and then all of a sudden it takes a turn for the worse where he knocks her out. It's like, oh shit, what?
Yeah, it was kind of disturbing at that point.
Yeah, so like, what the hell's going on here? And then she wakes up taped to a chair.
A wheelchair in a abandoned hospital.
Yeah. So I guess on the date he sees the person that's following him.
Yes, this entity, this demon that's going to kill him.
Creeps him out. They get away. They have the sexy time. And so now he explains it to her. And explains it to the audience for the first time.
Yes. Which is basically what we told you.
Right.
This creature will come after you. It can look like anybody. Someone you love, someone you care about, some completely random stranger. But it will walk directly at you. It will walk slowly. But if it gets to you, you're screwed.
Mm-hmm. Originally it said if it touches you, you're screwed.
Right.
But you see throughout the movie that it touches people, and they're not necessarily screwed.
Right.
So that part of it didn't really make much sense to me. But yeah, it's this creepy thing. When she woke up and he's explaining it to her, he's like, I'm explaining this to you to try to save you. So if it kills you, it just comes right back after me again.
Right.
So he was smart enough. Maybe this wasn't the first girl he tried this with.
No, because if you look at the very beginning, you see that girl get killed. I imagine this is one girl he tried it with before. And it came back at him, so he was hooking up with this J girl, our female protagonist throughout the movie.
So he's trying to perfect the technique, essentially, and trying to figure this out, because obviously there's not an established universe that he knows about. Like, it's not like a vampire. Like, okay, shit, now I need to get, like, sunlight, or I need silver, or
He's
something.
pretty much the Van Helsing of this, trying to figure it out and defeat it.
So he is fucking bitches everywhere, probably.
Yeah.
Getting so much tail that he's trying to figure this out, and probably getting other STDs in the process.
Probably.
But whatever. He needs to get rid of this thing that's coming after him. And so he's gotten it down to the point of having the sex, knocking the girl out, explaining it to the girl, and hopefully this girl is strong enough to pass it on to somebody else, so he's no longer in that chain.
He says in a very male chauvinistic, sexist manner, like, well, she's a pretty girl, it should be easy for her.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of shitty to say, but
very true.
I guess.
Yes, if it was an ugly dude and he was trying to have this sex with a lot of people, it would be a lot more difficult than a girl who is very attractive, who can just walk up to a bar, and say, hey, let's have this sexy time.
Right. And, in fact, Mary, this is how he kind of got it. It was a one-night stand with this random chick that he met at a bar.
Yeah.
He says that, so...
so that exact scenario happened to him.
Right. And so, basically, the majority of this movie is this Jay character. She's trying to cope with it, figure it out through the help of her friends, and they're trying to help her escape from it and do what they can to defeat this entity. To the point where this one, I guess, I won't even say a friend, is this kind of acquaintance that lives across the street, saw the turmoil she's going...
Neighbor boy.
Yeah, the neighbor boy.
Yeah, so it was
Greg, I believe.
A little bit older. I don't remember his name off the top
I think
of
it was
my head.
Greg.
Okay. We'll just call him Greg. If it's not Greg and you guys watch this, I'm sorry. We're going to call him Greg just because I don't want to look it up right now. So yeah, Greg is a little bit older, and
he decides to help him out. He takes him to a cabin that his mother owns. They hide out there.
All right, it is Greg. I looked it up.
Okay. The thing still gets them there. in the escape, she ends up breaking her arm and trying to drive away. Crashes into the cornfield. She wakes up in the hospital. Friends surrounding her. She knows she's incapacitated and not much she can do.
Well, I think you're glossing over the part of like they volunteer to help her, but no one still believes her about this thing.
That's true.
And
because she's the only one that can see it, no one else can see it. Only the people who are affected by it can see it.
Right, and it's kind of it's a messed up scenario because like you're trying to explain this shit to your friend, like, dude, there's this thing coming at me. You guys can't see it, and how do you not come off as batshit crazy?
Right, but that's once again a very popular trope in all these types of supernatural movies. Someone's seen something, nobody believes it, and it's are they going crazy? Do we believe her or not?
Mm-hmm. I liked the idea. I like the premise behind this a lot.
Oh, it was a very good premise. It's unique, and I don't think it's something that could have been done in the past. It takes more of a contemporary mind to accept what's going on.
Yeah, it's just really simple. So like you just see these random people walking around, and then like as the audience,
and it's creepy as shit too. I mean, they're doing nothing but walking. Maybe they're a little fucked up looking. One's pissing down its own leg, but still scary as hell because it's very zombie-like in like a trance-like state. But yeah.
Yeah, see, that's what I really thought that this movie succeeded on. Like, it brought a feeling of tension,
yes,
to the audience that you don't necessarily feel in horror films anymore.
No, and that's a big problem I have with horror movies. I know a lot of people that are into horror movies. I don't get it because I don't feel they accomplish what they try to accomplish.
No.
I'm never drawn into. I'm never scared. But there was such tension in this, and I was frightened for them and what was going on.
Yeah, you're so desensitized to these types of movies nowadays, where it's just like, oh, whatever, person's coming at them, and oh, okay, that person just tripped. Now they're gonna get macheted or whatever the hell it's gonna be.
What's awesome about this is, for a large part of the movie, you don't really know the capabilities of them. Mm-hmm. All you know is that they're walking towards you and they're run away. Isn't until probably almost halfway through the movie you see the animalistic strength that they can portray, mm-hmm. which is frightening.
Yeah, and see, that's the other part of it too. Is like you don't know anything about this universe. You're thrown into this universe. You know nothing about it.
And it's completely shrouded in mystery. You know the premise. You know how these things are transferred, and that's it.
So you're actually living through these characters the same way that they're living. Yeah. You don't know what's going on. It's like so often the case of like,
all we know is how brutal it can be from the very first victim we see, and how her leg gets snapped back and foot's detached, and she's just completely fucked up.
And how much of a like emotional drain, like how destroyed she is mentally and emotionally.
And she knows it's up for her. She's calling her dad, crying and apologizing for being a shit, as she puts it, and like just making amends and telling everyone that she loves them.
That's why I loved this. I was so just boom. I was fixated
from the
on
very beginning. It draws you in.
Yeah, because
there's no downtime in the very beginning.
You're learning with the characters. There's not that moment where you're like, oh, okay, now they explain to the audience in some shitty exposition what the capabilities of the demon is, and now you're just waiting for the characters to catch up to what you already know. There's none of that in this movie. You don't know what the fuck's going on.
And nobody knows what's going on. And they're coming up with all these ways to try to defeat it.
And it's great. I love that aspect to that. Mm-hmm. It's like, holy shit, this is real. This is coming at them. You don't know what's going to fucking happen. Mm-hmm. I loved that. So, back to it. The neighbor boy, Greg, yes,
decides
helps them
by having sex with her.
Right. All she knows is these don't move very fast, but they're strong. Mm-hmm. They will assume any position or any form, and they will just walk straight at you.
Yes.
But not very fast. So if you can get out ahead of them, you'll buy yourself some time.
Mm-hmm.
So then she explains this in a crazy way. Greg
decides to
help them, maybe because did they have a past relationship?
I
think she touched on it towards the end.
She mentioned something And he says, yeah, I was a real dick or something like that. So maybe there was something between them at some point, or maybe he was just an asshole growing up. You don't know.
Yeah, I think they had the intercourse before.
Maybe.
So then, anyways, he had a connection with them. She's like, all right, I'll help you guys out. Let's fucking go.
Yeah. And maybe he was just looking at sex. Maybe he actually believed her.
Right.
But
so they get away to that beach house or whatever it is, and then we think that they're safe for a little bit, but then all of a sudden in the distance, cleverly shot, you have them interacting with each other. In the background, you see this thing walking at them. Like,
right.
Oh fuck.
Nobody sees it because she's facing away and no one else is affected by it, so they can't see it, so they can't warn her or anything.
So the thing grabs her hair.
And you don't see the thing, you just see her hair raise.
Right.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, so then that's how...
Because that's what brings everyone else into it.
Exactly. That's exactly how everybody's like, oh shit, maybe she's actually telling the fucking truth for once.
So...
Which, if I was the thing... I mean, obviously, it's a needed scene for them to understand, like, okay, she's not batshit crazy, but the thing could have killed her right there.
Yeah.
The thing could have had her right there.
Well, because we see there on how fast it can react.
Yeah, it could have had her, but instead it decided to grab her hair rather than grab her by the throat or whatever the fuck it was, or however it wanted to kill her. But now her friends know it's real. They all try to get away. They run into
one friend, Paul, tries to hit it with a chair. Once again, we still don't see it, but you see the chair stop against nothing, and he just gets flung like a rag doll across the beach. And then they run to a barn. She escapes, drives off, crashes because she's not paying attention, and wakes up in a hospital.
Yep.
At this point, Greg decides, once again, maybe it's just to have sex. Maybe he starts to believe and decides he wants to help out, has sex with her, so now her being incapacitated, he can at least somehow get away.
And she willingly lets him try to take it because she feels that he's the strong person who can handle this burden.
Right.
So she willingly gives it
as
to
opposed
him.
to Paul, who we've established already has feelings for her that's been conveyed.
Right.
And there's jealousy in his eyes. You see constantly.
Oh yeah, between him and Greg, absolutely.
So he's kind of burned by this, but she explains, she felt that this Greg guy could handle it better.
Yeah. So she gives it to Greg. Greg gets it. Doesn't see shit.
But, okay, the way I feel about that is, for the very next scene, you see him talking and hanging around with this girl. I feel he then, act very quickly, passed it on to her.
Shit. Did you?
That's what I felt, because he's hanging out there, they're talking away. I think he kind of has his arm, like, at least around the chair, maybe around her specifically. So I feel he acted quickly, passed it off to someone else, because I guess he did believe her. And he's giving himself more time.
Okay, I didn't get that from that.
Oh, really? Okay,
yeah,
that's what I got from it. But I mean, you expect a lot of this type of stuff in these supernatural horror movies. A lot of mystery involved, and not a lot explained.
Yeah. So I didn't get that from that. So then they move on to I think a couple of weeks pass, maybe
something like that.
And he doesn't have anybody. He doesn't see anything special or anything like that, which is weird. But he doesn't see any of it.
Well, like I said, my interpretation is he passed it, so he did.
Maybe he did.
Yeah.
Maybe he did, and we just didn't see that part of it. So regardless,
well, there's a lot you don't see because there's the one scene a little bit later where she's on the beach.
Well, okay,
we'll get to that.
I was going to get into that. Yeah.
But later, she's back from the hospital. She's still paranoid as hell because, I mean, we really still don't know much about this thing.
Yeah, I mean, she's still paranoid, obviously. She knows that she passed it on to Greg, but if Greg, for whatever reason, doesn't survive, that thing's still coming back after her.
Right, and since they live right across the street, very short distance to get from one to the other. Right. There's not going to be a police report or anything happening between them.
Yeah, so she, after a couple of weeks, she's still paranoid, locked up in her room, looks outside, sees the thing trying to get into
No,
Greg's
I was
house.
reading something later.
Okay.
And what I was reading is that they saw the demon that looked like Greg. Did that look like Greg? Because for me, initially, it kind of looked like Greg, just dressed differently.
Which scene?
When she sees it walking down the street to Greg's house.
Oh, see, I didn't pay attention to that.
Because the character the demon at that point kind of looked like Greg. I wasn't sure if it was supposed to be him.
I didn't make that connection.
Um,
Yeah, I just thought it was just like, oh shit, that's the demon. I didn't think like, oh shit, that's Greg.
yeah.
So I'm in my mind, it didn't look like Greg.
Yeah, and I think maybe, like I said, it's just what I read online. Someone mentioned the demon looking like Greg. I imagine if it did look like Greg, she wouldn't be that freaked out over seeing him.
Yeah, and that's how I kind of felt. Like the way that it was walking, like I didn't make the connection that it was Greg. It gets into Greg's house. She freaks out, runs over there, tries to save him. Unfortunately, the demon takes the form of Greg's mom.
Yes. We assume it's his mom. He just says, "Mom, why do you keep banging on my door?" Then he opens the door. Maybe it is his mom.
I think it was supposed to be. I think it took the form of
Okay.
his mom. Titty exposed and all.
Yes.
I think that was Greg's probably first hint at like, oh shit, that's
This.
the demon, not
Right,
my
yes.
mom, because my mom wouldn't be showing me boob.
Right. Jumps on him in a very sexualized way, kills him.
Very sexualized way.
It's up for debate whether it was an intercourse reaction going on, but otherwise, regardless, Greg's dead, and Jay runs off and drives off, where we get to another beach scene.
Right. Like, okay, well, Jay, the Greg's mom, the demon, looks directly at Jay, but because it's after Greg, ignores Jay.
Because
It wants Greg.
Because that's how it works. It works down the line.
Yeah, so then it fucks Greg to death, and now it's back after Jay. Jay freaks out in the house. Now, see, I was thinking this was going to lead to like a whole subplot of, oh shit, Greg just got murdered. She has her fingerprints all over that house.
Oh,
And
the
everybody
touch
already
after.
thinks she's batshit crazy. So I was thinking like, oh shit, the cops are going to be after her because they thought that her batshit craziness went and killed Greg.
Which is a very interesting point to bring up because you see a huge lack of authority figures throughout this whole movie.
Mm-hmm.
Cops, parents, all of it. You see the mom once, maybe twice in the background
Yeah.
of the movie, not really saying anything. She's just there.
Yeah.
So it's a very, very huge lack of authority and guidance.
Yeah, and I honestly I expected that whole subplot to develop and like cops getting involved.
I
chasing
half
her
expected
around.
it as well, but I know that this wasn't the main focus of the story.
Yeah.
So
She gets out, escapes or whatever. Decides like, oh shit, now this thing is going to be back after me because Greg didn't last very long because Greg was not as smart as he should have been.
not as safe, yeah.
Because I mean he didn't believe it. After a couple of weeks, nothing happened to him, so
Right.
he just let his guard down.
Yes.
And saw his mom's boob and was like, that's it. So yeah,
Mom's titty game is strong.
wow, that's disturbing. So yeah, this is the part where it kind of led. It was up to viewer interpretation.
Yes. She drives off, wakes up on a car by a beach, goes out to the beach, sees these
Three dudes,
guys on a boat out in the ocean off the beach. She takes off her pants, takes off one layer of shirt, and starts to walk in the sea. At this point, people are wondering, okay, well, I think she says at one point she bought herself time.
Okay.
So presumably she had sex with at least one of those people, maybe all three to buy herself even more time.
See-
I'm not sure if it works that way though.
See, well, we don't know.
Nobody knows,
We
yes.
know. We don't. That's
And
the,
she
that's
doesn't
the
know,
great thing
so
about
she
it.
probably does that.
So
It could be that she does it
that's
just to hopefully maybe buy herself even more time.
that's what I think. I think that because this was like her still trying to figure out the process. She saw the group of guys,
Drunken frat boys probably.
decided this was going to be easy marks. Let them ride the train. So now she infected 3 people possibly, and we see her like kind of emotionally broken after that.
She's crying, hair wet and everything.
But this is kind of like one of the first types of things that maybe the guy that infected her already learned from, where he like he's tried to infect other people. Like she probably didn't explain, hey, you just fucked me. Now you have an STD demon after you.
Right.
You need to check yourself.
An ST demon.
STD demon. Okay, very good. I like it. So I don't think she didn't explain it to them very well. So they probably died quickly.
Yeah. Because it seemed like that thing was right after.
Yeah.
Pretty shortly.
So they didn't last very long at all, and I think that was just because of her inexperience with that shit. So it was her getting trained on for nothing. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, because I mean, it wasn't much there. That's when they decide it's time to go to the abandoned school. Correct.
Right.
That's when they see the one on the roof. That was also really disturbing.
Right?
And
Yeah.
just the kind of the cod piece or whatever.
Yeah, that was really disturbing. I don't know if that was a copy. I think that dude was just straight up naked.
Well, I didn't pay that close attention.
Yeah, I was looking for
But
junk in that picture.
there was, unless he had like a massive bush of pubes.
That's what I thought it was.
Oh,
like,
okay,
that
fair enough.
motherfucker needs to shave.
Okay, maybe that was the case, but
I free framed it and I was like enhance. Enhance.
But then you realize that doesn't even work. Sorry, CSI.
Damn it. It didn't work.
Okay, but
I tried though.
yeah. So they're basically going to this abandoned school because their one friend Josh, who has a crush on Jay, kind of comes up with this scheme, not really knowing if it's going to work or not, but they're desperate at this point, which is kind of how I interpret it, because they don't know they don't know how to defeat this thing, and they're just trying anything.
Right, and that was what I took away from it
Because
too.
we've already seen her shoot one on the beach, and it fell, then just got back up.
Right, so like straight up shot it, no effect. What else could possibly work?
So
Electricity, maybe?
Electricity. So they go to this abandoned school with an abandoned pool. It's still pretty chlorinated and clean, which is a little odd, but
Right.
and they plug in a bunch of electrical devices around the pool and put her in there as bait. This creature comes out and starts, and she says, it's here, and she's pointing at it, and they're like, well, describe it, and she goes, I don't want to describe it, which is actually pretty integral later on because of the sister who's in the scenario as well.
Okay.
Because we had the two friends and the sister with her throughout the thing as well.
Right.
So she said, I don't want to describe it. So you see this thing start launching these devices into the pool, thankfully unplugging it as he's launching them, or else she'd be electrocuted. Josh has the gun, starts trying to shoot it. I can't really see it. The sister, whose name I can't remember, it's something weird.
Was it Yara?
No, Yara's the friend, I think.
All right.
I think whatever. The sister tosses blanket around it because it's still corporeal, I guess. It still has physical form. They just can't see it. Mm-hmm. Tosses a blanket around it. Paul is able to see it. Right. Shoots in the head, falls in the water, still alive, grabs her leg. Paul continues to shoot at it. Ends up hitting it again. She gets out, and the pool just fills with blood.
Right. So we don't know what exactly happens to the monster or anything like that. Did it kill it? We don't know. Why wouldn't the monster just kick one of those fucking things into the pool and electrocute her instead of just grabbing them and throwing them at her?
Because I think it does it in a more violent nature. While electrocution is violent, it is not brutal, and it wants to be brutal.
So it
is bloodlust.
It's bloodlust?
Yes.
Okay.
So,
because what if it kills her successful?
It goes to Jeff.
And then it goes back to Jeff?
And
then it goes back to... Okay, so then it's always trying to kill shit.
Yes.
I guess there's no time that it just is dormant?
No. Unless it somehow goes back to the origin.
Yeah, because what if the person before... Well, it killed the one before Jeff, so then if it kills Jeff, does it succeed?
What do you mean the one before Jeff?
The girl that gave Jeff the thing.
Are you talking to the girl at the very beginning?
Yeah.
No. I think Jeff gave it to her.
Oh, you think Jeff gave it to her?
Yeah.
Oh.
And he knew this. He experienced it beforehand. Killed her. Went back down the line, and that's
okay. I see what you're saying.
So he was very aware. It's
okay.
And that's how he knew. It's this thing's going to come back to you.
Okay, I got you. That makes sense. So then okay. So then they get out of the scenario. Blood everywhere in the pool. She decides that Paul has displayed strength,
and it's time to put more faith in him.
And now she's like, Paul has been here for me the whole entire time. Let's bone.
They were first kisses as well. There's a history between them.
Yeah. So she bones Paul.
Then Paul goes trolling for prostitutes, which is an idea I had previous in the movie. I'm like, thank you, somebody thought of this. because it seemed like a great almost funnel for the demon, because give it to someone who's paid to have sex is their job. They're going to pass, and it's just going to keep bouncing back and forth between the prostitute and the clientele.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah.
So, I mean,
So yeah, again, that is also left up to interpretation.
because you see them drive past them, you never see them pick them up, so you don't know if they ever followed through with it.
Right.
And shortly after this, you see a scene of Jay on her bed. This is actually I think the second time you see her mother. The mother is just rubbing her back, and it pans to a photo on the desk, and you see the family, and you see the dad, which you realize, if I'm not sure if you caught this, was the demon at the pool. That's why she didn't want to describe it to the sister, because she would have said it looks like dad.
I did not catch that.
Yes, it looked almost exactly like the dad, so I assume it was the dad.
Okay.
So, once again, why she didn't want to explain it. Now, which begs the question is, does this always take the forms of someone's alive? Is it takes the form of previous victims? Was the dad a victim of this? We never see the dad, but we never see really any adults throughout the movie.
I think it takes whatever the fuck it wants.
Yeah, because it could be anybody you love. So
it could be anything.
yeah, so it takes the form of the dad in that one climactic scene. But then at the very end, you see Paul and Jay walking hand in hand. And in the distance, you see somebody following them. But once again, it's up to interpretation. Is this the demon? And
And then fade to black.
Credits. A lot is left unanswered in this, but in such a way that makes it compelling. Because it has me talking, it has us talking, it has us trying to figure it out and our own interpretations. Because there's a lot of symbolism in this movie as well, and I recognize it as symbolism, but I don't know what it represents.
Give an example.
Majority of the demons we see, all except for, I will say 3 maybe, are all dressed in white. The very first one we see is not dressed at all, completely naked.
Nude.
The second one we see is the one that's pissing out his leg, is wearing a red skirt, but nothing else. And then there's the other naked one on the roof, possibly wearing a codpiece.
I'm going nude on that one.
You're going nude? Okay, you're going nude on that one. So, majority of them wearing white or nude, basically. Very exposed. And in the very last scene, when you see them walking hand in hand, they're both dressed in white with black coats over. So it looked like she was wearing a cross around her neck as well. So I almost interpreted it as they became born again virgins or something like that to counteract this. But it's also the idea that they're walking hand in hand, which shows that they're a couple now.
Right.
So is this a way to stave that off by having a monogamous relationship where you're passing it back and forth between each other and sharing this burden?
See, I wasn't thinking of it that way either.
Yeah.
I was going more simplistic, completely. Just like, okay, it was just establishing that they were in a relationship now, and they were willing to just be couple.
Right.
With this SD demon.
Yeah.
With them, and then they just knew that they were going to carry on this and try to figure this out, and try to stay away from it as much as possible, forever, if possible. And that's my interpretation of it.
Because once again, we see that thing in the background at the very end. Not sure if it's a demon. Not sure if it's not. It is dressed. There is dressed in white as well, but once again, white covered in black.
Yeah. See, I took it as it was the demon following them.
Okay.
And then they're just like they're going to try to live with this as long as they possibly can.
And it could very well be, but once again, like I said, it could be create a monogamous relationship that broke that chain.
That's
as well.
true. I mean, that's the great thing about the ending. Like, I think a lot of people were after I watched this movie, I went and try to find more answers to it.
Yeah. Oh, before when you were still saying stuff up, I was reading it as well because it got me wondering, it got me curious.
And that's the thing about this movie. It makes you think, like, okay, what was the director's idea behind all that?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people gave the whole pool scene a lot of shit because why would they come up with that plan? And the director actually
yes, he addressed it, and I liked the way he addressed it.
the director actually addressed it, and I really thought that was genius on his behalf because of the fact that it's like, look,
He says like Scooby-Doo antics. They don't really know what's going on. They're just trying anything at this point.
what would you do in that situation? You would try anything and everything that you could possibly do. This sounds like a plausible idea. Maybe, obviously, you shot it. That had no effect on it. Let's try electrocution. Let's see if that fucking works.
Right.
Let's try something.
Yes, let's just not wait for this thing to kill you.
Yeah. And basically, that's what it boils down to. Is like, yeah, people had a problem with that ending, but in reality, it's like, well, yeah, it's the Scooby-Doo ending. Like, it's going to be a bad idea, but you're going to try something.
Yeah.
And I had no problem with it when I was watching it because I was thinking that way. You know, you're in this for the ride. You're in this to try to figure out just as they're trying to figure out.
Because I mean, I was watching this thing thinking, you know, what are they hoping to accomplish through this? And they're just hoping to accomplish anything at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you've learned, you know, it's not easy to get rid of, so you have to try something.
Mm-hmm.
So as convoluted as it seems, it was plausible from their ideas.
Yeah. Another thing that was prevalent throughout the movie is beaches with water and sand. You see a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
You see a lot of water. First time you meet Jay, she's swimming in a pool. The very first victim dies at a beach. They escape to a beach. The first time she escapes from her house from a demon, she runs to the playground, dragging her feet in the sand. I may have seen it wrong, but when Greg gets killed and the demon is grinding on him, it looks like the floor is sand.
Oh, I don't. I have to rewatch that part.
Like, to me, it looked a lot like it was sand there.
My mind
Instead of
was
a
like,
carpet.
dude, his mom's fucking him right now.
Yeah.
And like I didn't catch that. But the other
She
part
escapes to the beach again. The climax scene is in a pool, a lot of rain. She mentions being thirsty. The first time one's attacking her in the house, she's drinking water straight out of the faucet. So there's this whole idea of water and sand and cleansing almost.
And then her pool is destroyed for no reason. After the whole pool scene,
Right.
her personal pool now doesn't have any water in it and
And
is
it's
destroyed.
collapsed and destroyed.
And no explanation for that. No nothing. Just a quick glance of like, oh shit, her pool is no longer functioning.
Right.
So maybe water is one of the weaknesses of this demon.
Well, yeah, at first it wasn't entering the water, it was staying outside the perimeter. It wasn't until it was shot in the head and fell into the water that it was actually exposed to it.
And then it dissipated into a pool of blood.
Yes.
So water maybe does have something to do with a weakness,
Yeah.
so to speak, but we don't know. We're left to it, and that's the great thing about this. Like, it doesn't explain everything to you, so like you're kind of just left to your own devices. You're left to recording podcasts about it,
And talking about it and trying to break it down.
Yeah. So overall, what'd you think of the movie?
Oh, I honestly enjoyed it a lot. Like, as I said earlier, I'm not a huge horror fan. Like, I just really can't get into a lot of them, but this one captured me, and I got really interested in it, really captivated me. And it was beautifully shot as well, some really good shots. So, great characters as well, interesting character dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
And just very believable in a lot of senses as the way they develop everything.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something. If you're a horror movie fan, you really have to watch this. And if you're just a fan of movies, I think you should watch it as well.
Yeah, dude, honestly, completely 100% agree with you, man. I really enjoyed It Follows. I thought it was a great idea. I thought it was executed really well. After taking to the internet, after watching this movie, learning like the director actually comes out and actually openly says, "Yeah, dude, like the shit behind this is like you don't understand what's going on." And then thinking about that, like, it just makes my appreciation for this movie great, because you're not spoon-fed the solution to the problem.
No one is. We're not. At the end, I don't think we're ever going to get a solution to it.
You're just as clueless as the characters that you're watching and the people that you're supposed to interact with or connect with as a viewer. You're just as clueless as they are. So they're going to try stuff. You're going to think in your head personally, like, shit, what would I try in that situation? It makes you think. It makes you talk about it. I think that the movie hits on all aspects that it wants to hit on. It's very successful in that regard. I really enjoyed it. I don't watch that many horror movies anymore. I grew up watching, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween. I grew up watching those types of movies. I've stayed away from torture porn.
Yeah,
I really don't find I
value in that.
Yeah, I don't care about Hostel. I don't care about Saw. It's just like, all right, Saw was a cool premise for the first movie. They made 8 more or whatever more after that. Like, I don't care. But this, as a horror movie that gets you thinking, that is scary without having to blow a budget on special effects or having a niche or anything like that.
Just enormous creep factor.
Yeah, it's so well done. And the reason that you feel those emotions is because of the way that it was shot, as you kind of just touched on. It's creatively shot. It's really good. And it's simple.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, this shit can be real. Like, oh shit, man, this SD demon is coming after me.
Yeah.
So it's like, screw this shit, man. Great movie. Totally recommend it. Go check that out. So, Alex, how can we reach you?
You can follow me on Twitter. My name there's Alex Sandberg, AlexSanberg, or you can email me directly at the website, alex@lostlevel.com.
Okay, I'm on Twitter, twitter.com/calmintensity. We have a Twitter for Lost Level. It's twitter.com/thelostlevel. We have a social network all over the place. LostLevel.com is our main page. In the upper right-hand corner, you'll be able to see all of our links to everything. Please check that out. Please like us. Please review us on iTunes. We'd appreciate that as well. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Bye.